everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den. Welcome to another video. Oh, look, I don't have anything here to show you. This is the card we're going to make today, and I'm calling this a double pop-up card, which when it sits up, it does need a little bit of a coaxing to sit back a tiny bit. Once it gets there, it's done. It sits up like this with a beautiful pop-up in the middle. Now, I haven't decorated my middle bits, but the card we're doing today I will be doing. I love this sentiment and I love this tag, so we'll be using that. So everything we're using today except for one item, which is this, which was an in colour for 2020 and 2020 to 2022 Misty Moonlight, which is now a regular colour. So we're going to actually rub that off later on, but we're going to be using Misty Moonlight. So let me pop this out of the way for a moment and I'll show you what else I'm going to be using. So I'm going to use this set called Forever and Always, because I want the love and the always and a you. Plus I've already stamped and coloured the leaves and the flowers and cut them out because they come with dies. I'm using this set here called Delicate Petals because I want the wishing a lovely birthday to you, and sometimes something wonderful happens to someone who absolutely deserves every good thing. So we can use that one. And this set I've used for this die and these two here. So that's what we're using there. So let me show you what you need. Okay, let's move that out of the way because I need to read my instruction sheet. So you'll need a main card, and I've done all my scoring, so we'll go through that together anyway. Main card is at 4 1/8 by 11 3/4. And the first pop-up is 8 1/2 by 3 1/2, and the second one is 2 1/2 by 7 1/2. For the front of my card and for the writing panel on the very back. So you'll need two pieces of card that measure 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. And as you can see, I've done my back of my card already because I stamped that and I've put these on here. I just wanted something a little bit different on the back, so to finish it off. So we'll need a piece of designer series paper that measures 5 3/8 by 3 5/8, and a piece of white that measures 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. So that's those. For the inside top, you're going to need a piece that measures 4 5/8 by 3 7/8 and 4 3/8 by 3 5/8, and I've got my always cut out ready to go onto that. For the bottom part with my tag here, which I haven't stamped yet, which we'll do together, this measures 5 3/8 by 3 7/8 and 3 3/8, oh, ran the wrong way, 3 3/8 by 3 5/8, and then my tag, which I got out of a piece of card that measures 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. For my pop-up one, we need a piece of card that measures 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 and the DSP at 3 by 3. And then the other piece for pop-up one is 3 1/4 by 2 1/4 and 3 by 2. Now I've already cut out all my flowers, which I've got here. Let me pop them around so you can just see. I've cut out all my flowers and I've coloured them in using Misty Moonlight blenders. So let me go and get my scoreboard and we will score these pieces of card. So we have 3 pieces here, so we're going to score the first one, and we make sure that we use the small end. We're going to score that at 5 7/8 of an inch. Right, then we're going to use the second one, which is the 8 1/2 by 3 1/2, and we're going to score this at 4 1/2, 5 1/2, 6 1/2, and 7 1/2. And then with our small one, which is our pop-out number 2, which is 7 1/2 inches by 2 1/2 inches, we're going to score this at 3 1/2, 4 1/2, 5 1/2, and 6 1/2. So that's all our scoring. Now I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and on these two pop-up pieces, I'm just going to take a slither off of this end where the last, oh gosh, that got in there, the last score line is. So just past the 6.5 score line, right on the end there at the 7.5 inch mark. I'm just getting that because it went off a bit wonky there. Not that you're going to see it because it's going to be folded inside. So we just want a slither off of both of these. You know, about if you're lucky, 1/8 of an inch. Just so that see that one come off a lot better. Just so that when we fold that end down, it's going to be, I need a new blade obviously. Yes I do, because I can run my finger over it without cutting myself. It's going to fold under really nicely. So let's pop that on one side, we don't need that. Let's put these on one side too, and we're going to fold and burnish our main card. So we're going to fold and burnish our main card. There we go. So once we've done that, we will put on our front panel and our back panel. So I'm going to put on my front panel. I want to put on the front this love and a U. So I'm going to stamp my U here before I actually glue this together, so that if I mess it up, I can at least go and cut another piece. So let's see. I want it nice and juicy. I'm going to pop this on here so I know where I'm going to put it, because I'm going to put some flowers down lower, and I'm going to pop my U just there. Oh yes, that has come up really lovely. You can see that beautifully. So I will just glue my love on before I glue, let me get the glue off of that, before I glue them together, so that I know that I've got that all in the right place and don't put it on upside down or something silly like that, which I've done before. So we're going to pop our love U like so. So now I'm going to pop that onto my other piece of card, which is the 5 5/8 by 3 7/8 for the card front. I won't decorate the rest of the front until we get to the end, because we don't want it too bulky while we're putting everything else together. So make sure I've got my card opening the correct way. I don't want to pop it in there the wrong way around, which is easy to do when you're not watching. So we're going to turn that over so we've got it the right way, and we're going to put our writing panel on the back, which I've already stamped with the wishing a lovely birthday to you and those edge pieces. I just thought that they just gave that little bit extra of, I don't know, something different. I've not been one to use that set a real lot, not all the bits. So okie dokie, so making sure I've got that around the right way again, and that's the front and the back of my card done. So let's open that up and bring that around like that. So that's the front and the back of our card done. So let's pop that on one side for a minute, because we're going to now work on our first piece, which is our 8.5 by 3.5, and we're going to fold all of these score lines in. And as you can see, look, I've just taken off just enough so that that other score line there is showing. So we can then fold that down to the first score line, put some glue onto it, this piece. So that's our 4.5 inch line, and we can bring that over and pop that on top, making sure that it is nice and even on both sides. Once we're happy with that, that's our piece for inside. So while we're waiting for that one just to dry, we'll do the other one the same. So we'll fold and burnish all of this one, making sure that we keep the score lines and the sides of the card all even. Just remember, if it doesn't look quite even, just move it over that little bit. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same, bringing it up to the 3.5 inch score line. Pop some glue onto this section, and then we can put that over the top. And that's our middle section. So that is the insides of our card. Now they go this way around inside our card. So we're going to bring in that card again. And now we're going to open it up and we're going to pop this one inside. So we're going to actually fold it down so that the first score line is showing. So we want to, it wants to sit like this. So to do that, we need to push that down on, there's the line that where we just did one. So we've got a score line that side and the same score line on the other side. So we're going to pop glue onto this end one, like so. And then we're going to even it up into the middle of our card. Now this is entirely up to you. If you want to measure it, you can, or you can do what I'm doing and just eyeball it. And we're going to bring that up so that when you've got that up like this, if you can see what I'm doing off, it's in there, but it will pop down to the bend. And pop that down. Once we're happy with that, we're going to lift it up, and we've got our other score line here showing, and we're going to put our glue on that section down there. Lift up the back of the card, and then once we stand it up, we have our piece standing up inside. So while we've done that, we're going to lay that one down flat like that, and we're going to do exactly the same again. So we're going to bring this one in, and we know that it's got to sit like that, so we need to push it down that way. And we're going to put some glue on this piece here. Oops. And we're going to turn it around, and we're going to do it again. We're going to eyeball it to see whether we got it centralised on both sides and butt it up against that one. Once we're happy with that, we're going to close that down over the top. Happy? Bring it up, and you'll see that that's come right up with it. And we know that we've got to put our glue on this cord section here, this 1 inch section here. And we're going to bring the whole lot back over that way this time. It's just easier. So I'm not going to put my pin in my glue because we've got lots of gluing to do. And we've got our card sitting like so. Alright, so now we're going to do our decorating on the inside. Now, for me, I'm going to pop this one at the top here with the always on it. So I'm going to glue these two pieces together, make sure I've got this up the right way. If you've got directional paper, make sure that you cut it the correct way. If it's non-directional, that's better, that's good. And now I'm going to glue my always onto here like so. I love this set. I really absolutely love this set. Okay. Once I've got that on there, I'm going to pop that across the top up here because we want it high up so it can be seen. I've got that down nice and hard. Yep. So, and then we'll pop the glue onto the back of this. Oh, that paper's got a little bit of a fault in it. Okay, so this piece here is actually going to go on the inside up the top here. Now you could put this in beforehand. I'll leave that entirely up to you, but I just thought it's not that hard to put it in once you've got it, and then make sure it's even on the three sides. Once we've done that, you can pop that down nice and hard. Give it a close and give it another squish, and we have our first panel in. Our second panel is this bottom one here. So we're going to glue those two together. So this is This one's called, the other one's called the inner top. This one's called the inner bottom. I'm going to turn it around that way. I don't know which way. These have got flowers that go both ways, so I don't think this paper really matters which way up you've got it. So I'm going to pop this one down here, and this one will be even top and bottom and sides with a tiny little bit there as well. I'll pop this one on one side because we'll do this once we've done all our gluing down. This one is the panel here. This is the 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 and 3 by 3. They are square. It sounds funny, you think, well, you scored it at a different mark than that, but to put this on, it's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So, and this panel, once I pick it up, will go in here like so. Now I just find it easier to put these together like this rather than before I put them onto here. That way I know that they're going to be fitting in the right spot. And our last one goes on the front panel, which is our 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. And our 3 by 2. And this is pop up layer 1. Pop up 1. The other one is pop up 2. So, okay, so we've got that one onto the front there, like so. Once I've got them all on there, I'll close that up and give that a bit of a squish down so that I know that I'm happy with them. I can do that on the inside too, like so. So we have our card that sits there beautifully like this now. Alright, so we're going to do our bit of stamping on this one first. And that is the words that say, sometimes something wonderful happens to someone who absolutely deserves every good thing. Oh, that looks absolutely gorgeous in that colour, doesn't it? I'm loving these blues. I love blue. I mean, my favourite colour is actually green, in case anybody didn't know already. But blue would have to be a colour I actually use a lot of. Now, you know what, I was going to do a bit of thing around the edges, so I might actually do that before I pop that on. Let me pop that over there. Oh. I was actually going to just edge this just a tiny little bit, so it wasn't so stark. This is not a Stampin' Up tool. This is something I've had for a long time. So still plenty of glue on the back of that. So I'm going to pop that down in there, and that's going to sit there like that. How beautiful does that look? And it just sets it off. So we're going to bring in our flowers, which are all cut out here. So I've got leaves and small flowers and large flowers. So we've got 2 different kinds of leaves. And we're going to work out where we're going to put these. So I'd like to put 1, maybe 2 in a little one. Yep, that looks great, doesn't it? So let's glue first one down. Now anything on the inside will need to be glued down. You can't not glue it down. If you put it up on dimensionals, you're going to find that your card is going to be way too bulky and it won't sit nicely. So, oops, we need one up there. Okay. Now this is where I do a little bit of improvising, because I have an idea in my mind, but I don't really know how it's going to go. So I'm going to put dimensions on this side and glue on the other. I can see it in my mind's eye, but that's about as far as it goes. So the reason I did that is so that it can glue onto this piece and sit with that one. So on the front we're going to put some of these leaves. Put one more, that way I've got one leaf to go with the big one on the inside if I want to use it. Okay, oh wow. No, that to me is just the right amount. On the inside I'm going to put this large one here, up here, with a few leaves. And as I say, you need to actually glue this down flat if you're doing a similar card. Anything that you put on the inside needs to be glued down flat. I'm going to pop this in so I can pop it behind it. Come on, before it dries too much. There we go. So that's our flower on the big section. I will put these two smaller ones down here. So, and once again, they need to be flat. Actually, I'm going to put one here. I'm going to put one there with a couple of leaves. Like so. And then I'm going to put the other one in this corner here. So I just think that that's where it needs to go. With a couple of leaves. I think I'll put the other one last leaf. I don't like to leave one leaf around sitting around, so let's pop him down on this side here, like so. And that's the decorating on the inside of the card as well as the outside. So I have some of these beautiful rhinestones which are from the Waves Basic Jewels, and they're in the blue. So I'm going to actually use these. Let me put the pin in my glue. It's not going in very well today. And I'm going to pop some of these onto here. Pop one in the middle of that flower there. That flower there. And that flower there. On the outside. I think I might put a couple of these tiny ones just down here on the inside. Like that. I think that's just enough. I don't think it needs any more. So what do you think? I think that's a gorgeous card, and it sits up lovely to be displayed openly, and it says on the front, love you always. Sometimes something wonderful happens to someone who absolutely deserves everything good. And on the back it just says, wishing a lovely birthday to you. So it's already a fairly bulky card, so you wouldn't want to put more dimensionals on the inside. And it sits up lovely for someone to put on their mantle shelf or on the shelf where they put cards. And I just think it's gorgeous. And it's called a double pop-up card. Stand up, you. There we go. No, this one doesn't want to stand up. There you go. So that's our cards. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have and you'd like the written tutorial, please head over to Diane for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. It's on my Facebook group. You'll find the link down below here. If you've enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any of my other videos. I do one every Sunday of the month, except for the 2 weeks over Christmas, and one Wednesday in a month called a Wowzer Wednesday. So if you've enjoyed this, I look forward to seeing you again. Bye for now.